Hello, I'm Ron Giles. I've been in the trailer business for 45 years and I've been in the cattle business for a whole lot longer than that. In fact, the way that I got into the trailer business is back in the day I wanted to get rid of the old rusty bumper pull that I had and get myself into what I consider to be a really big addition, a really big trailer. At that time it was an 18-foot gooseneck stock trailer. But today I want to talk about the latest addition. This is a 32-foot Frontier trailer that I'm going to use on my ranch for my personal use. And so I'm going to talk to you what was important for me and what I think makes a good trailer. So the first thing, that this trailer is built for to haul big load, and this is probably not a big deal, everybody has this, but it has a 30,000 pound coupler and a square tubing neck. That's pretty common on anything this big, but what's not common is how well the trailer is built. This is a heavy duty steel A-frame contraption, I guess, that bolts into the gooseneck, and that's not going anywhere. And then when we look underneath the gooseneck here, we'll see that the frame is made out of a full 2x8 rectangular tubing, and so are the cross members coming across. Things that are noticeable to me are the workmanship. The welds are really, really nice. This 2x6 rectangular tubing, a gusset put in there that probably is about as nice as I've ever seen, making this trailer feel like it's pretty skookum to me, or pretty well built. Now, one thing that I like about this trailer is the distance between the neck and the box. It's a full 18 inches. That really, it can solve some problems. I think there's at least, over the years, maybe twice I've tore the back end of a truck out going through tough terrain, maybe gunning it because I was going to get stuck through dips or over hills, and I didn't have enough clearance here, and I ripped the back of my truck out. I think this is virtually impossible. And today we have bigger trailers, and the bigger the trailer, the longer the trailer, the more apt you are to do that. So I really like that a lot. So I chose a 32-foot. Why did I choose a 32-foot trailer? You can get any length you want, but I thought about the compartment size and how I was going to use this particular trailer and how many different configurations I could create if I had enough length. So the first thing I started out with was a 6-foot front compartment. So the first thing that I thought was important was to make the front compartment with 6 feet. Why was 6 feet important? Well, there's lots of room in here to have 2 horses, saddled horses, in the front of the trailer, separate from the rest. I did a video on it. It'll show you there's lots of room. I think I could have had 3 horses in there, and I darn sure can have 2 horses saddled. And the nice thing about having a door that wide is if you come home at night and you got something that has to go to a certain pen where you can't back into, or you want to unload first, I can jump them out the front of the trailer and into wherever they're going without having to back up or unload the stuff in the back. Now, the second thing that was important to me was the rear compartment. So I use side-by-sides. My particular brand of choice is a Gator. The Gators that I use are 11 foot 2 inches long. So I made the back compartment inside with the gate shut 11 foot 8 inches. Now I can do my business, load my cattle. After I get them all loaded, I can load my Gator into the back and come home, shut the gate, load it in the back, and I can bring that home. I can have my horses in the front, I can have my Gator in the back, and then I can have the compartment in the middle. And one thing that I think is important is to not make equal compartments. So I have a 6-foot front compartment, I have 11 foot 8 back compartment, and I think it's about a 14 foot in the front. To me, makes no sense to take a trailer and split it up in equal compartments. You just don't know how many of what kind of animal or livestock you're going to haul. The next thing that was important to me was the running gear, or the foundation of the trailer, and I picked 3 7,000 pound axles. That gives me 21,000 pounds of payload. Yeah, you can get by with double axles. 2/8 could have been enough. You can go to 210s. But why I like the triple axle, number one is the ride. The ride's superior to any double axle. It rides over the potholes especially nice. This trailer corners and handles like a much shorter trailer. What I really think is important too with the length of this trailer, and you can look and see that if you had only 2 axles, your took the front axle off, you're going to put a lot more weight on the tow vehicle. If you took the back axle off, you're going to have way too much weight overhang back here. Having the 3 axles levels the clearance out underneath and make it a lot harder to hang up. Yeah, if you see that picture and you think about, I only want 2 axles, I'm not sure where you're going to move them front or aft in order to make the trailer handle the load properly. The next thing I like about a triple axle is it has 6 brakes rather than 4. Yeah, the brakes are a little bit smaller, but 6 brakes, I don't think you can make that up with any other double axle configuration. Another good thing about it is the tires are relatively cheap. This trailer is using 85 R16s. They total more than the axle capacity. The axle capacity is 21,000. They're just over 21,000. And now if I was to have a road hazard, blow a tire, replace the tires, I'm replacing a much more economical tire and a lot easier to find than those, say 17.5, 14 ply tires. They really cost a lot of money. So I like that a lot. Okay, now I chose a 7.5 wide. Now there's lots of good reasons for 8 wide, and 8 wide might fit some other people better than this. Why did I choose a 7.5 wide? 7.5 wide, arguably, excuse me, will pull easier. It's a lot narrower, less wind resistance. It's really a lot easier to see down the side of your trailer. Even with your mirrors extended, 8-foot wide trailers are hard to see beside. But a really important feature for me was to have running boards so I can pop up anywhere, look inside, maybe encourage a cow at the back to move forward, maybe get one up, maybe move them around in the trailer. I didn't want to be without a running board of some sort, and that's really hard to have a decent running board on an 8-foot wide. Going to 8-foot wide will create a lot bigger fender. As you visualize, if you move the sidewall out, you move the fender in. When you move the fender in, then you've got to move your posts in and your gates hang in a lot further. The more the gates hang into the trailer, the more intrusive they are to maybe injure some kind of livestock, hit them on it. This creates a lot smoother. The smaller fenders, a lot more palatable for me. Now, we could spend time talking about slam latches and center gates and whatever. This one has the same as everything else. I think they're well built. I don't think I need to waste your time with that. The calf gate's kind of an interesting thing, or at least a small thing, but probably pretty good. We sheet the bottom half of the calf gate in here, fold it down, but this stops anything you might have in the back from getting out here and getting into the livestock underneath their feet. But we still left enough room here if you wanted something longer to put over the top of it. Staying in the trailer here, I want to talk about the sidewall of the trailer. That's the meat and potatoes of a stock trailer. If you were to have a flatbed trailer this long, this wide or wider, you'd have to have a 16-inch I-beam frame underneath it, and then you probably have a 6-inch frame on the outside of it. And that's to give all the strength to it in order to carry the heavy load. When we look at a stock trailer, we don't hardly see any frame here at all. And the reason that is that's not really the frame. We might have thought of that as a frame before, but the frame is truly the sidewall of the trailer. You'll be hard pressed if you look down this trailer to see a trailer with more meat or potatoes or beef in it than the sidewall. And once you weld the sidewall onto a trailer and the roof onto the sidewalls, that becomes the frame. It's impossible to bend what we considered to be the frame before without bending the entire trailer. That makes it a unibody construction. This trailer is built to stand the test of time. Now I'd like to talk about my most favorite thing on this trailer, and that's the flooring. This is what the flooring's made out of. It's I chose a tongue and groove. It's called lumbar, which is a cross between the word lumber and rubber. Kind of neat name. This comes in either spaced like planks or it comes in tongue and groove. I chose the tongue and groove. You can have it spaced and I guess the urine would run out of it, and that probably has some appeal. Today they're banning that in some of the states. Some of the places in the United States aren't allowed to have a non-sealed floor. That takes care of that. The urine going out might be all right, but it also lets the dust come in. I'm kind of fussy about that. I don't like the dust coming into my trailer through the floor, so I picked the tongue and groove. Now, we've all been around trailers with aluminum floors, checker plate floors. Cattle liners, we've all been around, you'll hear the cattle scrambling, you'll hear them trying to get traction, you'll hear the noise going on. This floor is quiet, similar to a wood floor with rubber mats on it. I think that's important. I loaded my horses in here the other day just to take a video of them in there. They jumped in this just like it was any kind of a horse trailer they're used to riding in. In the past, I've tried to load my horses on a checker plate floor and they don't like it. They're scared of it, it's noisy, they don't have a lot of traction. I think this rubber flooring is a game changer. I think this is one of the biggest improvements in the stock trailer industry that I've seen lately. I'm fully sold on the lumbar flooring. It's supported on 12-inch centers. It has a little give in it. When you walk on it, it's kind of cushiony. I think that's great. You gotta help somewhere. I just can't talk about how good it is. I just love the floor. Our trailer has a slam latch. I don't think that's unusual. Hook gives you lots of time to do the rest of it up. We put the slam latch up here out of the way. Some of them are in the posts back here. I've backed into load trailers before and the post is in the way and you can't get your hand in there. That's up and out of the way. Might be a bit of a reach for a short person. If I had to fault it, that's probably the one thing I would like to see. But when we tried to put too long of an arm on it, it started to bind and didn't want to go up as good. I moved the top, put 4 stop turn lights on the back of it. I moved them up. Originally they were down here. I couldn't see any advantage to having them low. I wanted people behind me to know I'm turning, to know I'm stopping, be able to see it. Probably one mistake I made. If I was going to order this trailer again, I would likely even put 2 more of those lights up in the header too, given 6. Probably an overkill, but I think that would be a good thing to have. Has 5 welded on hinges on the back. That's as many as any of them. Lots of them are less than that. The doors typically can sag and give trouble. I can't imagine not having enough hinges on the back and having any trouble with that. It does have a hold back. That's pretty handy, I guess, when you're coming places. Something I forgot to do to show you was the lighting inside. So we put 3 interior lights in. You can have as many as you want. Oh, and it's a really nice job. I probably should have covered that when I was in there. How the cove is filled in on this trailer and how well finished that is up there. It's just a nice job. We also added lights on the back here for loading at the top, and we put some lights somewhere here along the side. Don't know if I ever really needed them, but when I was doing it, I thought that might be handy at night as you're walking along loading. Thought they could be useful. Don't know yet, but they'd be good. Has lots of lots of clearance lights. You can have as many as you want. But looks like it's pretty well lit up. Heck, I might have put more on that once I seen it. I really liked lights. What else? I think that covers the trailer for today. This trailer is 32 feet long and fits Ron Giles. Something that might fit you could be 34 feet long, could be 30 feet long, could be 28. You can have the compartments any size you want. You can have a moving gate. You can have different axle configurations. You could go to 2 axles. I really wish you wouldn't do that. I think that would be a mistake. I think I nailed this trailer for what Ron Giles wants. You might want something different. So anyway, I own Airdrie Trailer Sales. We sell these trailers. If you want to drop by or give us a call, 403-948-5678, and let's talk trailers.